What is going on, people of the SmartHouse Society? Matt here from mksmarthouse.com, and in this video we're going to be going over the software for, in my opinion, one of the most useful smart home devices, the Sprinler system. So what is exactly new about this firmware? Well, for starters, you can set up the entire device from your phone. All you have to do is simply go to settings and then click on the Wi-Fi network the device produces. The second thing that's new is it's compatible with Home Assistant. I won't be covering how to connect it to Home Assistant in this video, but I'll leave the item config in the description. So that way, if you do know how to connect it to Home Assistant, the item config is in the description below. The next thing that's new about this firmware is it has support for Mqtt Authentication. So those of you that use secured Mqtt servers that require a username and password, you can now use this device with your server. Then lastly, the device has a status portal, so you can see its IP address, the MQTT topic it's connected to, whether it's using authentication or not, how to update the firmware, a bunch of different settings, which I'll show you later on in the video. As you may have noticed, the Sprinler system has a custom PCB that I designed, and recently I've been getting my PCBs from PCBWAY. PCBWAY has been in business for a long time and is a full-feature custom PCB prototype service that makes high-quality PCBs. PCBWAY has the best value, fast turnarounds, on-time worldwide shipping, and low minimums. So I'd like to thank PCBWAY for sponsoring this video, and if you guys want to support this channel and just want to get nice quality PCBs, check out PCBWAY, which will be in the description below, and use the cash code that's on the screen now to get $5 off your order, which is pretty much, if you're only getting 10 PCBs, it makes it free. So what is the Sprinler system exactly? Well, it's exactly what the name implies. It controls your Sprinler system, but more specifically, it controls the individual valves. So what you do is you can connect each individual valve to one of these three relays, and you connect the power source and you can control it. So if you open up your phone, you can turn on zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, or in this video, we're going to cover how to make a 20-minute cycle that will turn on each zone for 20 minutes, not at the same time, but one after another. Just like this Sprinler system, all the devices on mksmarthouse.com/shop are now pre-flashed. So if you order a DIY kit, all you have to do is solder the components together and the software is already there. And if you buy it assembled, you just have to plug it into the wall. And to celebrate this great achievement, you can use the coupon code V2 to get 10% off your entire order at checkout. So go to mksmarthouse.com/shop. So what are we going to need for this video? Well, we're going to need a fully set up MQTT server. So I'm going to be using my OpenHAB 2 server, which has MQTT and OpenHAB already on it. If you don't have that, you can check out my OpenHAB 2 setup guide. And we're going to need a Mac or Windows computer. Then lastly, if you did not buy this device pre-flashed, then we're going to need a Arduino with some male-to-male DuPont jumper cable. Links to all the parts and tools are in the description. Also in the description, follow MK-SmartHouse on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, because that's where I give sneak peeks and stuff, as well as things only a true smart home enthusiast would enjoy, such as these cameras over here, or the wall-mounted device over there. All right, let's get to work on the Sprinler system. All right, at this point, if you bought a pre-flashed device from my website, then go ahead and skip to the timestamp on the video now. But if you didn't buy a pre-flashed device, then we're gonna go ahead and download the firmware. So the first thing we're gonna do is open up Google Chrome, go to my website, we're gonna go to guides, control, Sprinler system, we're gonna go to links, it says resources, but it'll be links. I'll leave a link in the description to this specific guide. And then we want to go to MK Sprinler System Firmware V2, enter an email address. The reason I ask for an email address is so that way if I ever make any changes to the firmware, I can let you know by sending you an email. Then click download file, go to the download page, click the green download button, and it should start downloading the firmware. All right, now at this point, if you have no firmware on the device, then skip to the timestamp on the screen now. Otherwise, we're gonna use the web portal that's in the V1 firmware and upgrade it from that portal. All right, now we're going to upgrade V1 firmware to V2 firmware using the web portal that comes with a version 1. So the first thing we want to do is go over here to our web browser. Then we want to type in http:// then you want to do the host name of the device. So mine is Sprinler System 2.local and then /firmware. It'll then ask you for your username and password that you typed into the original Arduino IDE file. So you want to type in the username and the password. Click sign in, and that'll bring you to this page. what you want to do is click choose file. You want to go to your downloads folder. Then you want to click on the Sprinler system bin file. Click open and then click update. And at the bottom you'll see it says uploading, and then it'll say update success rebooting. At this point your device is updated with the newest firmware. So skip to this timestamp on the video now to set it up. If your device has no firmware or you just want to manually install the firmware v2, we're going to need a program called Pi Flasher. So if you go to my guide and go to the links page, it'll be right here, and just click on it. Then you're going to click on the one that corresponds to your operating system. If you have a 64-bit Windows, click on this one. 32-bit Windows, click on this one. And if you have a Mac, click on the DMG file. And then go through the entire setup process. Since I already have the software, I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Instead, I'm just going to open it up from my Launchpad, and there it is. Cool. So here's the program. The first part is the serial port. So memorize what devices are in this dropdown, and now we're going to go ahead and connect the Arduino to the Sprinler system. Now we're going to connect the Sprinler system to the Arduino. The first thing you want to do is make sure that the Sprinler system, the jumper pin is over PGM, which is program. Then we're going to take one of these DuPont jumper cables and jump the Arduino from reset to ground. Now the rest is simple. We just need to connect all these pins to this. So the first one is TX. So go ahead, plug it in, TX here to TX here. Then you want to grab another one, which is going to be RX, and plug it into the RX pin on the Arduino. Then next is ground. So take this one, jump it from ground here to ground on the Arduino. And lastly is 5 volts. So plug it into 5 volts here to 5 volts on the Arduino. Give you guys a little close up. See, all the pins are in their corresponding slots. Now we're going to take the USB cable and plug it into the computer, and everything should light up. Now that the Arduino with the Sprinler system is attached to the computer, let's click the refresh button next to the dropdown and click on the dropdown. You should see a new device right here. Go ahead and click on it. The next one is Node MCU firmware. This is where we choose what firmware we want to flash. So click the browse button, go to your downloads folder, and click on the Sprinler system.bin file and click open. Next is the baud rate. Make sure it's 115200. Flash mode dual IO. Yes, wipe all data, and just click flash node MCU. Now it's going through erasing the flash, and now it is writing the firmware. All right, now it finished uploading. So now we can just unplug the Arduino from the computer. Bam, and disconnect all of the jumper cables from the Arduino to the Sprinler system. If you're a smart home enthusiast like me and want to show that you're an elite member of the smart home community, then check out smarthoussociety.com. If you want to support my channel, then check out the link in the description and grab yourself a premium quality hoodie, shirt, or hat. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and set up the device using our phone. I have my phone up on the screen now, and so what we want to do is first move the jumper from program to run. So you want to make sure it is in run mode. Then you want to take the USB cable and plug it into a USB source. So this can either be like your phone brick that it came with, or I'm just going to go ahead and plug it into my computer. Any available USB port. Because the device just needs 5 volts. There you go, turned right on. So now we're going to give it a few seconds to boot up. Then we're going to go into settings, Wi-Fi, and wait for the device to show up. Oh, there it is. We're going to go ahead and tap on it. It's going to connect to the device and open the configuration portal. So let me tell you what is inside this portal. So the first one is configure Wi-Fi. This is the one we're going to tap on. It's going to scan for the Wi-Fi networks, and then we can import all of our settings. Next is configure Wi-Fi no scan. So this one doesn't scan for Wi-Fi networks. This one is good if you have like a hidden Wi-Fi network where you just manually type in the SSID and password. Next is info, and in here this just gives some random information about the device, nothing really relevant. And then lastly is reset. This does a power cycle on the device. So we're going to tap on configure Wi-Fi. And up top, it scanned for all the available Wi-Fi networks. The ESP only finds 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks. So if you have a 5 gigahertz and you're surprised that it didn't show up, that's why. So I'm going to click on K Wi-Fi. Then I'm going to type in my password. All right, so my password is in. If you don't see your Wi-Fi network up here, then scroll all the way to the bottom and click the scan button. Maybe it didn't find it, and you can find it again clicking the scan button. Anyway, next is hostname / MQTT ID. I'm going to name mine Sprinkler System 2. I'm going to name mine MK Sprinkler System 2 because this sprinkler system is going to be for my front yard. And Sprinkler System 1 is for my backyard. If you want to see more videos about my backyard, you can find them on my channel. But I'll be doing a video showing how I install this for my front yard sprinkler system in the future. Alright, so I named mine MK-Sprinkler System 2. Next is the... Oh, and that was for the hostname / MQTT ID, which is how it shows up on your network and also how it's seen from the MQTT side, which you don't really see, but the computer does, or your OpenHAB server. Next is MQTT. The first thing is the server IP address. So this is the IP address of your OpenHAB or Home Assistant server, whatever you're using. Mine is 192.168.0.4. Next is port. Default is 1883. If you have a different port than 1883, you would know, and then you can just change it there. Next is the MQTT topic. So I'm going to make mine mk-SmartHouse / utilities / mk-sprinkler system 2. All right. Then after that, this false. This is, you would change this to true if you have an authenticated MQTT server, which means if your MQTT server requires a username and password, you would set this to true and then type in your username and password for your MQTT server. Mine, it doesn't require that, so I'm going to keep it at false. Next is web updater. So this is how we access that control panel and also update the firmware in the future. I'm going to make mine admin and give it a password. It's going to be blurred so you guys can't see it. All right. At the bottom here, this gives you the how to reset the device. So if you want to change any of the previous fields, this is how you do it right here. I'll show you at the end of the video how to reset the device and its settings. But anyway, click save. And if it connected to the Wi-Fi network, then you should see its Wi-Fi network disappear. And if you see it disappear, then it's good. And if you didn't, then click on it again and try to set it up again. Maybe you typed something in wrong. All right, mine disappeared. So that means it connected successfully. All right, now we're going to connect the sprinkler system to OpenHAB or whatever our MQTT server may be. So the first thing we want to do is access the status portal of our sprinkler system device. And to do that, we want to go to http:// the host name of the device. So mine is sprinkler system 2 and then .local. So it's going to be http:// the host name of the device .local and press enter. It'll ask you for a username and password. This is the username and password we set when we set up the device from our mobile phone or whatever mobile device you set it up with. So mine was admin and press enter or sign in. All right, so this is the status portal. It tells us all of our settings of the sprinkler system. So the first one is the host name of the device, then the MQTT server IP address it's connected to, the port it's connected to, and whether it's using authentication or not. Then we have the command topic, which is what it receives commands from. And then we have our status topic, which sends the status of the device. So when the server sends on, if the device turns on that zone, then it'll send a state back saying that it is on. So it's a two-way communication. So if you send on, but the device doesn't turn on, say it's disconnected or something, then in OpenHAB it'll still say off, and you can realize that, oh, there's a problem. Maybe it's not plugged in or something. And next we have the update firmware. So that you would go to this link, paste it into the browser, and then upgrade the firmware from there. If you want to know how to upgrade it in the future, if I release something new, then go back in the video and it shows you how I upgrade from V1 firmware to V2, which is the same thing. Then lastly, this is telling you how to reset the device or reset its settings. I will show you that at the end of the video. Now that we know our MQTT topic, we'll put that off to the side. Now we're going to go over to my website, which is in the description to this page. It's going to be under guides. We want to go into the sprinkler system control, the software tab, and then scroll down. These are all the different commands and code that we're going to be typing into OpenHAB. So now we want to SSH into our MQTT server / OpenHAB server. So on Windows, use PuTTY, and on Mac, use Terminal. So I got Terminal right here, and I'm going to SSH. All right, I am in. The first thing we're going to do is go to our items file, type in the password. All right, so since this is the second sprinkler system, I already have one in my items file. So instead, I'm just going to take all of this code and then just also paste it in. So I'm going to have two. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this little comment right here. I'm going to put it under my first sprinkler system. Then we're going to add the 20-minute cycle and schedule switches. So I'm going to make this, just going to add a 2 to here, a 2 to there. And I'm also going to change the items to have a 2. So these first two items, this is the 20-minute cycle. So if you turn this switch on, or even this one, they're both the same thing. If you turn that switch on, then it will go through each zone and run it for 20 minutes. So when the first one is done 20 minutes, it'll turn that one off and turn the second one on. And it'll go through that all the zones. And then this sprinkler system schedule, it's whether, because in the rules file, we're going to set it so the sprinkler system runs every single day. And so you would turn this switch on if you want it to run every single day, say at like 9 o'clock or something. And if you don't want it to run one day, say that it rained, then you turn the switch off. I'll show you that more later. All right, now we're going to take the switches for the actual device. There we go. I'm going to add a 2. Actually, let's just make this terminal window bigger. All right, so for each one of these zones, since this is the second sprinkler system, I'm going to add a 2. If you only have one sprinkler system, you don't need to be adding all these 2s. But since I have 2 of them right here, this is my first sprinkler system. This is my second. I'm adding 2s here, 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 and here. And I'm also going to add it here. Now we're going to change these MQTT topics to match our status portal. So where's the status portal? So the first one is the command topic. So I'm going to copy this one and I want to match it up so it looks this right here. This part needs to be this, your command topic, as well as this right here. So I'm going to change this, change all of these to 2s, as well as this. So these first parts are the command. This is the command on and this is the command off. So this is what the OpenHAB server sends to the device. Now the second parts over here is where OpenHAB receives from the device. So from this symbol right here, this means that the OpenHAB server is receiving the commands. So we want to change these to match this right here. See? This status topic needs to match this right there and right here. So for me, it's simple. I just need to change all these 1s to 2s. All right, they are all changed, so I'm good to go. So let me go over what each one of these items do and what all of these different parts mean. So the first one is the 20-minute cycle, which is what I explained. It goes through each zone 20 minutes. So it's a switch. It's called sprinkler cycle 2 and 20-minute cycle 2. You can name this whatever you want. This is what shows up in the sitemap. Then this one is the schedule. So this is whether our rule that we'll be setting up in a minute will be, so it goes through each zone every day. So this turns on and off the schedule. Then these 3 items are the actual zones on the device. So the zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. And so these are all switches because they just have on and off states. These are the names of the device. This is how they show up in the sitemap. It's going to have a water droplet as the item picture. This has the switchable, so that way we can turn it on and off with the Amazon Echo or Google Home. But actually, now that I think about it, I forgot to add these switchable tags. So I forgot to add these switchable tags to here and here. I'll change that in my website later on. And then next we have the MQTT binding config. And then this means that it's sending a command. So when it's on, it sends this command. And then when it's off, it sends this command right here. Let me just extend this a little. So this is when it sends on. So it sends to this MQTT topic. And then it also sends to this MQTT topic the off command, Z1 off. And now we're just going to go to the end. And then here, the next part, this is where it receives. So when it receives Z1 on, then it'll turn it on then it'll show that the item is on in OpenHAB. And then when it receives Z1 off, then it will turn the state off in OpenHAB. And then lastly, this is auto update false, so that way the on and off, the sending and receiving all works, and it's not automatic. Instead, it's based on the sending and receiving of MQTT topics or MQTT commands. All right, that's it. Pretty simple. So now we're going to exit out of the file. So click Control X, Y, and enter. All right, so next we're going to edit the sitemap file. So type in this command right here, and I'm going to add this to my outside frame. All right, and since again this is my second sprinkler system, I'm going to add the 2s to all of these. So what you want is these items right here need to match the items in your items file. And so the sitemap file is what shows up in the basic UI and the actual visual base. So we're going to click Control X, Y, and enter. Okay, and then lastly we're going to edit the rules file. Type in this. I'm going to add this. So the first rule that we're going to do is it's going to water each zone at 5 a.m. for 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this, where do I have my other sprinkler systems? There it is. Okay, so I'm going to put it underneath these guys. So put it right there. I'm going to paste it in. There we go. Paste it in right there. Now I'm going to change all of these to 2s. All right, so I've gone through and modified all of these items to match my items file. So I just added 2s after sprinkler system. But what you want to do is make sure that these match your items file. But let me go over what this does. So first, this rule is called sprinkler system schedule 2, since this is for my front yard, so it's a second one. But what it does is it at 5 a.m., which is what this cron expression does. So it says every day at 5 a.m. it executes this rule. And if you want to change it so it's not at 5 a.m., what you want to do is go to cronmaker.com. So this is cronmaker.com. This is an easy way to make cron expressions, which is what OpenHAB uses. So here you want to choose if it's every 1 day, every 2 days. So let's just say it's every 3 days. You want it to start at, let's say 2 a.m. And then you just want to click generate cron expression, and you type this, you would copy this and paste it in here. But anyway, continue on. So if it sees that the schedule to switch, so if the schedule switch is on, then it will execute all of this and do each zone for 20 minutes. All right, so now the next rule that we're going to do is the 20-minute cycle switch, which is similar to the 5 a.m. except it turns on when the switch turns on. So I'm going to put that underneath. Now I'm going to modify it so it works. Now I'm going to modify it so that way it works with my items, which is item 2. Now I'm going to modify it so that way it works with my second sprinkler. So I'm going to add all the 2s. All right, I've gone through and added all of the 2s, and so now these items match the ones in my items file. Again, you don't have to add all these 2s if you only have one sprinkler system, but since I now have 2, I added all the 2s and made my items match. Let me go over what this does. So when the sprinkler system cycle 2 switch is on, then it will water each cycle for 20 minutes. Now press Ctrl X, Y, and enter. All right, we now need to restart OpenHAB. I forgot to put this in the guide, but you want to type this in sudo system ctl restart OpenHAB 2.service, and now it's going ahead and restarting OpenHAB. Alright, OpenHAB is now restarted. We're going to give it a couple minutes for it to properly start up. Alright, now let's go ahead and test the device. So first thing we're going to do is open up a web browser, then we're going to go to our web user interfaces, make that full screen, then we're going to go to basic UI, scroll down, and there we go, we have all of our sprinkler zones. It's a little bit messy, I might clean it up on my own time, but the overall point is here. So we have our sprinklers zone 1, 2, and 3, as well as the 20-minute cycle and the schedule. This is for the first sprinkler system that I have. Then we have sprinklers 2 zone 1, sprinklers zone 2 zone 3, sprinklers 2 zone 2, and then 20-minute cycle 2, and sprinkler system 2 schedule. So all of our switches are here. Let's go ahead and go through each one of them. If I click sprinkler zone 2 zone 1, you should hear a click. There it is. Turn it off. Then we're going to go to zone 2, turn it off. There we go. They all work. Fantastic. And now if we click the 20-minute cycle 2, we'll hear a click. There we go. The first zone is on. And then on my phone, I also got a notification saying that the watering is active. And then I can't demonstrate the schedule switch because we would have to wait till like 5 a.m. or whatever time we set, I forget. Alright guys, so to reset the device, what you want to do is unplug the device, then plug it back in, and when you plug it back in, quickly move the jumper from run to program, wait 10 seconds, so 1, 2, 3, 10, and then you want to move the jumper back to run and unplug the device and plug it back in. And then it should go into programming mode where you can set it up on your phone. That concludes this complete guide to the software for the sprinkler system version 2. In the description, you'll find links to all the parts and devices used in the video, as well as a link to mksmarthouse.com/shop, where I have a wide range of smart home kits that you can put together, which are now all pre-flash. Alright, if you found this video helpful, click that like button, and if you are a smart home enthusiast like me, you belong on this channel, so hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below, or head over to mksmarthouse.com/forum. Goodbye.